We're gonna get officially started, but if you have, if you want to know what to use, if you have it based upon what you have at your house, a blanket, a towel, yoga towel, if you have a pillow, if you want to sit on that, if you have yoga blocks, yoga strap, maybe a tennis ball, but otherwise if you don't have anything, you can just come as yourself, and you can use things like a rolled up towel, and I'll cue and I'll let people know, like, okay, we're going to use this, or I'm using this, and you can use something else to modify. But if you have a towel or a blanket or a bolster or a pillow, you might want that. Yoga strap, yoga blocks, if you have them, they're always great for props. I think that's pretty much it. Let's just see. All right. I'm going to go ahead and unmute everybody again, just to make sure that people can say hello and interact. Especially after I did the introduction, I kind of ask people for their input in terms of where they're coming from and what they're looking for in their experience. I think it's good to know ahead of time. All right, so I am Kendra Nielsen Miles. I am a yoga instructor. I actually trained at the Mindfulness Center, and I also am a restorative exercise specialist. I trained under nutritious movement for Katie Bowman. My class, I tend to do more of a functional yoga blend with natural movement and restorative exercise, because I fully believe that, especially when you're dealing with hypermobility or chronic pain, whether it's related together, even other chronic illnesses, a lot of things that we need to make sure that we do is just move all day long. And sometimes we don't have the energy or the capacity or the capability to go to an exercise class or PT, and sometimes our bodies can't handle it. So one of the things I love to do is not just teach and work with people, but is also give them tips while we're teaching or while we're doing things that you can actually take at home. So we might be doing a class, but we talk about calf stretching. Well, that's something that you can do and incorporate all day long at home. So there's little ways to get movement in your life when you can't take a class or don't have the capacity. There's also ways to learn how to move better and move more, all day long, even if you're not in that exercise class. That really makes a difference in terms of your overall functioning, pain, alignment of your body when you are moving. There's a lot of things that we don't realize that really do make a factor in terms of how we're feeling and our body and our function. So that's what I also like to focus on while I'm teaching and share those little tidbits. But I also like to keep the class going. So with the disclaimer that this is mind-body strategies for hypermobility and related conditions. And the reason why it was mind-body or mind-body movement is because of the blend of yoga and restorative exercise and natural movement. And if there's questions and more specifics, we can handle them afterwards. If there's anything that somebody does not like, it doesn't feel comfortable, don't do it. I like this format, especially if you can put your videos on, if you're comfortable with that. It's just more of, everybody's focusing on themselves, but for me, if there's a problem, I can kind of see what people are doing. It helps with just overall trying to keep the more personal level and people safe, and also help me help you if you're having a problem. However, obviously it's harder in the middle of a class because I'm not there to kind of help, because we're doing this virtually. So we can always leave those questions more at the end. But if anything at all is uncomfortable, you're not sure how to quite do it, don't understand what I'm saying or what I'm doing, don't do it. Just, you are responsible for your body and your time, and I'm here to help, but it's obviously hard to kind of know exactly what everybody's coming to the table with and how to best instruct everybody personally in this capacity, or even in a regular class. So, but we can always modify. There are always modifications. I try to give modifications when I can. If I forget, ask me afterwards. You're not sure really what I talked about, just ask me again at the end, and then we'll just go from there. So I'm actually just going to make sure that nobody has any questions, needs. I'm actually very curious who is here and why they are coming to this class and they were interested. And if you're willing to share, that would just be great. And what your experience is in terms of yoga, movement, and if you have hypermobility, that would be great. So if you're willing to share that, you can put that in the chat, or you can turn on your mics are off unless you have to unmute yourself. But otherwise, I'll give everybody a few minutes just to answer me back if they feel like it, but I'm gonna get ready and to officially start the class. So starting. Okay, so if you can get started either seated, if you are comfortable, not comfortable sitting on the floor, You can sit in a chair, obviously, but I would like you to get seated in a cross-legged position if you're comfortable with that. On the floor, you might want to put, or in a chair, like I said, you might want to put a blanket underneath of you. The reason why is if you're sitting on the floor and you put yourself like on a blanket, it just helps kind of tilt your pelvis forward a little bit further to kind of naturally just kind of spill it forward so that you're not really pulling on your back. It also makes it comfortable if you have it for knee work. And I'm actually going to move this down a little bit just because I just want to make sure that everybody can see me and I can see what's going on if you can't see me. All right. So go ahead and just turn off any kind of music or distractions. That will be the other thing I was going to tell you all is that you might want to, I've muted everybody, but you might want to look at your phones, turn off any other distractions that you have in the background so that you can best enjoy the class and also understand. But then go ahead and get seated, sitting on a blanket with your legs crossed or in a chair. And I just welcome you to be comfortable and just maybe just start taking deep breaths on your own or just focusing on your breath just to get your mind quiet. You're welcome to close your eyes. And you might want to just take some shoulder rolls, just gently, as you're starting to like calm. Shoulder rolls back. And then maybe for you, shoulder rolls forward. And then maybe a couple deep breaths to yourself with your eyes closed. Pay attention to how you're feeling. If there's any discomfort, is it really uncomfortable? Do you need to modify? Do you need to move? Do you need to help support your joints and your body in a different way? That's perfectly okay. Make adjustments as needed. So let's do a couple more shoulder rolls back. And then let's do it forward. Two more. And I want you to take your hands and I want you to put them, you can keep your eyes closed, but you can look at me if you want to, but take your arms right here. So you're kind of like a wing. I just want you to kind of move your shoulders this way. We just did a couple of shoulder rolls, with your arms to the side. I just want you to move your shoulders back like this. So your arms touching your shoulders. So like bigger shoulder rolls if you're comfortable. But if something's bothering you, if you have shoulder injury, if you're not comfortable with bigger rotations with your shoulders, then just back off. You can do smaller ones. Or you can just not do it. If you're welcome, you can go also forward. So go forward maybe a few times. You can also move as you are comfortable and whatever feels good. You are always free to do what you would like to do, not just what I'm doing. You also don't have to match what I'm doing if it's not comfortable. So I welcome you to make this your own, in your own way, and to actually move in different ways, not necessarily exactly how I'm instructing, to kind of just feel out your body and how you're feeling and what it needs. Roll back a couple more times, or forward, I should say. And then back again. One more time. All right, now shake out your hands, put your hands down. Maybe open and close your palms a little bit. Just stretch out all our phones, if we've all been on online so much now, which has been a blessing in disguise. I never thought I'd say that, but our hands get really cramped. So just opening and closing your palms sometimes can just feel really good, just to really stretch out the connective tissue and everything, the muscles that are here. We don't realize how cramped they are. So just opening and closing them. Maybe you want to roll around your wrists. Open and close again. And then put your hands to the side, shake them out again. We're gonna put our hands to the side, adjust your seating. You can keep your eyes closed if you want. Well, we're gonna have our arms to the side, we're gonna raise them with an inhale up. And then exhale down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale down. arms up. Exhale down. Why don't you do that 2 more times at your own pace with your breath? So inhale. And exhale. And then once you come down again, you exhale. I want you to raise your arms up again with the inhale. And I want you to exhale. I want you to go rotate slightly to your right with your arms down. Again, moving with your breath. So we're going to inhale from the side and then come back and then exhale down. So let's do that again. We're going to inhale, arms up. Rotate to the side, to the right. Arms down. Inhale, arms up. Rotate back down. So let's do that a couple more times. Inhale, arms up. Exhale to the right. Inhale, arms up. Exhale down. One more time. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, slightly rotating to the right. Not too much, just because you can. You don't sometimes don't want to rotate too much. Sometimes the control and the effort and the work is actually stopping yourself and not going as far as you can just because you can. So I like to keep it at around like a 45-degree angle. And then you're going to inhale, arms up. And then you're going to exhale down. So let's do that again, but let's go to the left-hand side. We're going to inhale, arms up. And then rotate as you exhale to the left. Inhale, arms up. Exhale down to the center. Do it a couple more times to the left-hand side. Arms up. Inhale. Exhale, rotate. Inhale, arms up. Exhale down. 2 more times. Inhale, arms up. Exhale down to the left. Inhale, arms up. And down. Last time. Inhale, arms up. Exhale down to the right. Rotate. Inhale, arms up. And now to the center. And shake out your wrists again. A couple more shoulder rotations. Both forward. We're going to do that again, but we're actually going to rotate from side to side. So shake out your hands, maybe open and close your fists again, roll your shoulders out, arms to the side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale to the right. Inhale, arms up. Exhale down to the center. Inhale, arms up. Exhale to the left. Inhale, arms up. And go down to the center. Let's do that one more time, but at your own pace with your breath. So inhale. And go at your own pace and look at a cue. Once you come to the center and you've done that, just shake out your hands again. What I would welcome you to do next is maybe take your right arm, if you're comfortable, and I want you just to rotate, walk it out a little bit. And I want you to bend your neck to the left, gently. If you've had surgery, if your neck is at all uncomfortable, don't do it, don't go too far. If having your arm out is too uncomfortable, it's too much of a stretch, then back it off and just put your hand on your lap. So walk your right arm out slowly, neck tilted slightly to the left. Maybe look up down a diagonal if it's comfortable to you. And back down, and then head to the center. Let's walk our left arm out. Tilt your head to the right. Back off if you need to, if it's too much of a stretch. Or keep it there. Maybe tilt up. And then back down, and then head to the center. Let's do that one more time. arms walked out to the right, hand walked out to the right, and to the left. Look up, 1, 2, down. Really gentle rotation, stretches. And then back in, center, left arm out, tilt, right, maybe look up at a diagonal, come back, center. And then just take neck rotations to the right and left at your own pace as you are comfortable. I love rotating my neck. However, with hypermobility, we have to be really mindful of our neck or even neck pain. A lot of us have had neck surgery. There's different factors that you're coming to the table with. So just be mindful of how you feel and what is comfortable to you. And if anything at all hurts, don't do it. And also if you can't feel it, that's okay. You don't want to keep going and keep pushing it just because you're looking for this incredible stretch, especially in your neck. You want to be really gentle with your neck, but you can stretch it gently. I kind of sometimes rotate like a U side to side. I don't go backwards. I don't hyperextend my neck backwards because it's pretty hypermobile. And I like to be very mindful of my long neck and bobblehead that I feel. It sometimes feels really good just to do a couple stretches on your own. And come back to the center. And then when you are, after you've done your neck rotations and rolled out your shoulders a little bit, I want you to take your right leg, I want you to extend it. Now at this point, you might want to actually take, if you're sitting on a blanket, you might want to take it out from underneath you, just because we're going to do a little bit of stretching here and do a little bit of hip rotations, and it's a little bit harder on a blanket, in my opinion. But that's up to you. Again, do something that you're comfortable with. So take out your right leg and just shake it out. And I want you to roll around your right ankle. How's it feeling? Maybe point and flex your toes. Maybe bend your knee a little bit. And again, change your angle. You don't have to have it as back as I am. You may keep it here if whatever is within your range of motion and meeting your body where it needs. So arms here, shake out, roll out your ankles, flex your toes, arms to the side. We're gonna inhale, arms up again. And now we're gonna rotate to the left, but we're actually gonna keep our hip rotated a little bit. And then we're gonna come back to the center and then arms down. So maybe watch me one more time and before we do it together. So I have my foot out, I'm comfortable, I've rolled it out, my leg out. We're gonna inhale, and then we're gonna rotate again to the left, just like we did before, but we're gonna kind of rotate with our hip going with us, not too far. And if it's uncomfortable, don't do it. But then we're gonna rotate back up to the center. All right, so shake it out. So together, inhale. Exhale, rotate to the left with the hip. Making sure the leg and the hip are moving all at once with the feet. Inhale back to the center and arms down. Let's do it 2 more times. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, rotate. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, down. One more time. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, rotate. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, down. You shake it out. I will tell you, I feel when I do this, I have to be mindful because I sometimes feel a really tight contracture of the muscles right here. So if you ever are feeling anything that's uncomfortable or it's tightening somewhere, then back off, like I've said before. But I just want to, where I feel it sometimes, and I have to be really careful to not do too much to make it kind of contract too much. So we want it to be gentle and comfortable, and we're not pushing ourselves. So after you do that, let's shake out our leg. Let's take our right foot in, left leg out this time. Shake it out. You rotate your ankle. Point and flex your foot, your toes. How's this ankle feeling versus the other one? When was the last time you rolled your ankles? How many times do we do this? A lot of times we're afraid to move it too much. Our feet need just as much input and love, and as are other parts of our body. So just roll it a couple more times. Maybe lift the knee and down, the knee and down. And then setting up for the same rotations, adjust, arms to the side. We're gonna inhale, arms up. And then Rotate to the right, making sure that you're moving as one piece with the hip and the foot together. Inhale back up. Exhale down. How's that feeling versus the other side? So pay attention to that, maybe shake it out a little bit. Sometimes I get a little tingly feeling in this left foot, I don't know. So sometimes I have to put a little bit more input to it. It just feels different than the other side. So just be mindful of that, that's important. So we're gonna inhale again. Exhale to the right, rotate. Inhale, come back up, and then exhale down. Making sure that when you are seated like this and you're coming back to center, that this leg and the hip are still all up, the foot is up, and it's vertical versus like it's still being down. So if we were sitting like this, you don't want to be like still having your foot like this. So the idea is for it to be vertical with your body and then rotate as one together if it's comfortable. So let's do it one more time. Arms to the side, inhale. Exhale, rotate. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, down. Shake out the leg. Rotate the ankle. Flex and point the foot. Bring both legs in together. Maybe put them together. Maybe stretch them out. Kind of shake out your legs a little bit. Roll your ankles again. Bring your feet back in here. And we want to give our feet a little bit of love. So what I mean by that is that our toes are so important, because a lot of times we have a lot of shoes on and they're crammed in these shoes, and we don't realize how much the muscles on the bottom of our feet are not able to work in the way that they need to help support our bodies. So giving yourself like your own kind of foot massage to help kind of separate the toes and to give some input to the muscles on the bottom of the feet. We're going to do this standing too, but you can do it yourself. It's kind of like not that everybody wants to touch their feet, but it's really important to kind of just give a little help to the feet and the toes before we actually get to a standing position. So maybe just do a little foot massage, separate the toes a little bit. If you're willing to touch your feet, you can also purchase things like yoga toes, which help separate them for you if you're comfortable, and then bring it back. All right, let's switch to the other foot. I'm gonna rub the bottom of the feet, the toes. And then down. And then I'm going to check and make sure there's no questions or anything, but then I would like you to meet me in child's pose. So if you need to put something underneath your knees, but from this position, I would like you to meet me in a child's pose, however you are comfortable. Let me just check. Trying, so somebody, okay. All right, so I'm so glad that those that are still with us are here. So meet me in child's pose. If you have any questions still, you can put them in the chat and we can also discuss afterwards, but I want to make sure the classes keep going and that I'm mindful of the time. All right, so in child's pose, you put something underneath you. I like to do this. Something that's also important is that even just putting your toes under like this, I feel more comfortable this way, but a lot of times in child's pose, we have our toes touching, our big toes touching, and we have our legs out a little bit more wider than hip width apart. But sometimes it's just good to, before you even go, you just kind of sit back, give your toes a stretch if you can handle it. It can be really intense for people that are not comfortable, or they might have to bolster underneath of it. But sometimes this is a little sneaky stretch that I sneak in before I get to child's pose, or even just throughout the day. I just try to sit like this or sit like this, and making sure I'm not collapsing in my ankles. But sometimes it can be too intense, like I said, and you can bolster, take a pillow. Woo. You can take a pillow. Actually, maybe like a yoga block is probably better. But you can put that underneath your pelvis, underneath your hip to help. You might need it a little bit taller, but that's something that you can do. This is just a quick stretch for the feet I like to do as I'm moving and transitioning into child's pose. So let's go into child's pose with your toes touching, and you're gonna sink down back, and then reach your arms out, head down, and just breathe. A couple more breaths to yourself. And I want you to slowly try to walk out your fingertips a little bit further, maybe sink a little bit more down if you can. Then I want you to take your left hand and I want you to walk it kind of over to your right hand and put it on top of the right hand. And I just want you to stretch a little bit more into that left hand side just because of the hand meeting over the right hand. So you're kind of in a somewhat of a tilt, but not really. But you're just, your hand, left hand is on your right. And you're just feeling that stretch a little bit more on the left hand side, but slightly. Take another deep breath. And then exhale, and then walk that left hand back to the center. And then take your right hand, and I want you to walk it back over to the left hand and stick it on top of the left hand. Same as we did on the other side. And then just breathe and feel that stretch a little bit more throughout the right side now, just as we did on the left. And when you're taking your breaths in this format, you're not sitting up and you're not standing up, so it's a different feeling, and it can almost feel like you're more constricted when you're breathing. So what I would encourage you to do is when you're here, or even in child's pose, just notice how you're breathing and where you feel it. Do you feel your rib cage really expanding, down and out and to the side, or what's more uncomfortable for you? Being able to take a deep breath in all different ways is really important to work the muscles and the tissues on a cellular level that help us be able to breathe well in a lot of different capacities. So being mindful of how you're feeling when you're down like this and when you're breathing. And if you have any restrictions, or can you actually focus and try to really take a deep breath and you feel your ribcage really expanding all ways, not just forward, but to the side and back and deeply. And then slowly walk your right hand back to center. Take another deep breath, and then meet me on all fours. And if you need to put a blanket underneath your knees like I have under mine, that's fine. I'm just gonna go ahead and check the time real quick, make sure there's no questions. So when you're on all fours, making sure that your shoulders and your wrists and your elbows are all aligned. You can have your toes underneath like I do, like flex if you want to. And I just want you to move at your own pace. We're gonna move into a cat-cow, but I encourage you to kind of move around on your own, how you're feeling. If you don't want to do exactly the cat-cow, you might want to do it more gently. Maybe you want to rock forward and back on your own. But just move around and just feel how you're feeling. How do your wrists feel? How do your hands feel? How does your back feel? Are you holding up like this? Or are you letting your belly relax really deeply down? We're always told to hold in our core, tilt our pelvis. But how do you feel here? Can you move? Can you do a cat-cow and really just let your belly relax? Or are you feeling restrictions? So just move around a little bit. Maybe do a cat-cow like I said. And just feel how you're feeling. How are your hands feeling? How's your wrist feeling? How's your back feeling? How's your pelvis feeling? I know wrists can be really difficult for a lot of people with hypermobility. They're uncomfortable putting their weights on the wrist, and it takes a lot to hold ourselves in a plank or even in on all fours. So one of the things that you could do if your wrists are uncomfortable is you can take the yoga mat, or you can actually take like a towel, and you kind of roll it up like this, just at the end. And what you do is you take your palms and you're gonna place them right here, so then your fingers are kind of more at an angle, extended downwards. So your palms are on the mat, it gives a little bit of height, and then the fingers are extended down. And so what that does is it just helps the angle, it takes the pressure off the wrist a little bit. Sometimes that's a good modification for some people. If that is not comfortable, you can also go to your elbows around your forearms like this, or you can also modify if your wrists are really uncomfortable, or your shoulders on your forearms on a bolster. So there's also many different ways to do cat-cow or do exercises on all fours. So that's why I encourage you to feel out what feels good for you and what you're comfortable with. And just because somebody's doing it one way doesn't mean that there aren't ways to do it more safely or more comfortable to meet your body where you are right now. And sometimes we have different days and we just aren't comfortable with something that we're used to. And helping your body by using props is really, really important. If you don't have a bolster, you can use pillows. You can also do modified You can also do a cat-cow or a plank on against a chair. So if being on your hands at all, or even being kind of more in this downward position with your head down, if that's uncomfortable, there are ways to modify, and you can actually just keep your head above your heart and hold on to something and do the same position. So I can also show the modification. We're just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna trust that you guys will kind of figure out what feels comfortable and modify if you need. And now that you've moved around, I want you to do a cat-cow. So we're gonna inhale, arch up, exhale down, and breathe. Inhale, arms up, arch up, exhale down. One more time. Inhale. Maybe hold it. Exhale down. Now I want you to just move around again at your own pace. Maybe introducing a cat-cow. Maybe coming back to child's pose. And then resetting at neutral again. And this time we're going to actually do something called a rhomboid push-up. And it's kind of like a cat-cow, but it's actually more isolating the scapula. And that can be kind of hard for us. A lot of us with hypermobility have winging scapula, but it's a really great exercise once you know how to do it and you can isolate it versus what we're used to in a cat-cow. It actually is a great way to help the mobility and get movement to the tissues and the muscles in this area that a lot of times causes a lot of pain. So your hands are still in quadruped, your wrists, elbows, and shoulders are in line. Maybe let your head hang a little bit. How are your shoulders feeling? Are you holding up like this? Are you feeling really tightness? Almost like even if you're in a quadruped, you feel like your shoulders are coming up to your ears. Let your head hang a little bit. Let your belly hang. Take a couple breaths. And once you've kind of just relaxed into this space, I want you to just try to isolate here. So instead of a cat-cow, from our backs and our spine, we're just moving at the shoulder joint. Again, let your head hang. Relax your belly, let it just come to the floor. Relax, let it have a natural curve in the back. More times. And then toes together. Maybe adjust your knees again and then come back into child's pose. And then come back to all fours. I want to make sure I know what time we're. All right, we're doing okay. All right, so back on all fours. We're going to take our right leg. We're going to extend it back, and you put the toe down. I just want you to go rock back and forth. Time. And then lift up that right leg, and I want you to move it to the side if it's comfortable for you and your hips. And now it's to the side. If you can see it, it's parallel. We're at like more of a 90-degree angle. And we're just going to rock back and forth here. So it's a little bit more into the inner hips, inner thighs. Time. Go back, and then go forward, lift the right leg, bring it back around, and put it down. Now lift the left leg back, put it down, and then just rock back. Nice calf stretch. I don't know if I can do this. Move over here. And then lift your left leg, bring your leg around. So we're now doing the inner thigh on the left side, and then just rock back and forth. back to center, lift up the left leg, bring it back around, back down, and then put it down, and then bring it to neutral. So now we're back on all fours. So now we're gonna do bird dog. And then we're gonna lift our right leg. And if you can, lift your left arm. If you can't, that's okay. Just meet me here. So we're gonna lift the right leg, we're gonna bring it in, and we're gonna bring it back out, and then down. We're gonna lift the right leg, bring it in, extend it out, and put it down. If you wanna add the arm, go ahead. Lift the right leg, left arm, bring it in, extend it out, do it one more time, lift, in, and then exhale, put it down. Let's do it on the left-hand side. You're gonna lift the left leg, and then bring it in, extend it out, and down. One more time, inhale, lift the leg up, bring it in, extend out, and down. Now keep it doing that, or you can meet with the right arm up, left leg up. Bring it in, out, down. Again, lift, in, touch the knee to the elbow, out, and down. And maybe just shake it out, another child's pose if you would like. Breathing, coming back to all fours. Maybe do a couple wrist rotations. We're gonna extend that right leg again, back out and down. And then this time we're gonna actually move our left hand and we're gonna kind of put it more underneath, more in the middle versus where we are. And we're gonna slowly rotate with our knee down and supported if you're comfortable. Again, you can also use a bolster or a blanket to prop yourself up a little bit and go down on your forearm if you're not comfortable. But put it more towards the middle. Make sure that your wrist, elbow, and shoulder are in line. Rotate out the leg. We're gonna inhale, arms up, right arm up, side. Maybe do an arm circle. Another one. If you're not stable moving around your arm, don't do it. Maybe go the other way. And then bring it back down to the center. Let's do it on the other side. We're gonna take our left leg out, back and down. Move our right hand more to the center. Reach up to the left. Left arm up. Hold it. Do an arm circle. Forward. If you can, maybe the other way. Reaching. And bring it back to the center, and then bring your left arm down, the left foot in, into the center. We're gonna do it on the other side again. We're gonna take our right leg, put it back, left arm to the center, reach up. And this time, when we come back through, we're gonna thread the needle. So we're gonna come back through with the right, we're gonna put our knee back down the center, and we're gonna thread through to the left. Just breathe. Then bring your right hand back to the center. Adjust yourself. Come back to neutral on all fours. Take the left leg back. Put it down. Right arm to the middle. Reach up. Extend up. Hold it. And then come back. Put your left knee down. Then bring your arm through to thread the needle to the other side. And then come back to the center. Maybe take a child's pose. If you need to, move as you wish. Move things out of the way. And I want you to slowly make your way to standing. Be careful if you've been down on the floor for a while, and if you get like me, you get dizzy when you stand up too fast. So just come up really slowly, maybe just rolling, or just maybe grabbing onto something for balance. And I'm gonna make sure you can see me when we're standing, but just meet me in standing. And then when you're standing, in shoulder width, hip width apart. I think you can see me. All right, you can see my feet, that's what's important. All right, so we're standing. How are you feeling? I want you to take, if you need to, you can hold on to something. Or you can just roll around your ankle when you're standing. Sometimes I find that my feet get cramped, and when I go from sitting or on the floor to standing, I need to kind of move them around a little bit so they're prepared to hold me while standing. And then do the left leg. And then in hip width apart, shoulders back and down. Maybe move around your toes. Can you lift your toes? Lift your big toe. How are your feet feeling? Back up again, down. Maybe try to do like a rainbow, a fan with your toes. Can you do that? And down. All right. Move around your toes a little bit more. All right, in mountain pose, we're gonna do a gentle vinyasa flow for just 1 or 2 times just to get up and down. If you're not comfortable doing this, or you're not sure how to do it safely, then don't do it. Or you can just watch and join in, but this is just a nice way to get the blood moving a little bit and to go from standing to sitting. So we're gonna hand feet width apart, shoulders back and down, arms to the side. Inhale, arms up. So I want you to pull forward with hinging from the hips, and you don't have to go all the way down. I actually want to encourage you just to stop. Stop right here. Maybe put your hands like more by your knees or a little bit just below. And we're going to inhale halfway up just above our knees. Relaxing our neck, shoulders down. Exhale back down, but not all the way. And then we're going to inhale, arms up. Exhale, heart center. So if you actually are not quite sure how to prop yourself that way, because it's actually easier with your hypermobile sometimes to go all the way down. So we tend to go like this, but this is actually, that's extension from the spine versus the hip, and our real work is to actually stop us right here. So sometimes it's actually easier to hold yourself and use a prop if you need to kind of be mindful of where to stop. Or sometimes if you're really stiff and you can't go to the floor, and that's not necessarily the point, but to make it, to be safe and to not go too far, but to keep your alignment, it's good to use your prop. Now this is a lot of yoga blocks, but you can take 2 of them and maybe just put them down. We're gonna do that again. So just if you need something, you take a chair, you can take a block and just put it in front of you, or you can even do it on the wall. So feet again, hip width apart, shoulders back and down. Moving around your toes. Arms this side. We're going to inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Stopping right here, just at a hip hinge. Using the blocks if you need to, or just putting your hands like right here. We're going to inhale kind of halfway up, but we're actually just going to go above our knees. And then exhale back down. We're not going to go all the way down. We'll stay here. And then we're going to inhale all the way back up again. And arms to the center. Let's try it one more time. So arms to the center. We're going to inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, up. Exhale, down. And inhale, arms all the way up. And hands to heart center. And then just roll out your feet a little bit. Move around your toes. Maybe take some shoulder rolls. And we're going to make our way back down again to the floor through a vinyasa. And you can follow us, follow me, or you can just come down to child's pose, however you're comfortable, and just wait. If you're not comfortable doing the, going from the standing vinyasa flow through that movement, you can just come down to child's pose and meet us. So, but if you're comfortable following us, feet hip width apart again, shoulders back and down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale. Now you are welcome to plant your hands down to the ground. Step your legs back into like a plank or modified plank, and then just find your way to child's pose. Or do a full chaturanga if you're comfortable. And then just come back into child's pose. Big toes touching, knees slightly hip width apart. couple more breaths. And then come back up to all fours. We're going to slowly make our way to our back. So you can come through seated position. So we're on all fours. You can just lean forward. Maybe sit on that blanket again. Or moving it. But just make your way back to your back as you are comfortable. And if you have a bolster or a pillow, if you're not comfortable laying on the floor and you need to prop up your neck or your back, that's perfectly fine. You can use a lot of different things, and I'm happy to help people if they're not comfortable on the floor afterwards. It's somewhat a little easier to do more one-on-one once understanding how people, and I can see it on video, also how to help them prop themselves so that it helps bolster for the hyperkyphosis a lot of times that we have in our backs. So sometimes using props to help the neck and shoulder and back alignment makes laying down on the floor more comfortable. But however you're comfortable, just get there, go ahead and lay back down. And we've got a little bit more of class, so we're just going to enjoy being on the ground. And then once you're there, go ahead and close your eyes. A couple deep breaths. I want you to reach your arms above your head and your feet round. I want you to stretch, like a good morning stretch. Really inhaling. And then exhale down. Stretch again like you're really reaching to opposite ends of the room. Exhale back down. Inhale, reach again. Exhale down. Well, this time what I want you to do is I want you to take your left leg and I want you to put it over top of your right ankle. And then I want you to take your left arm, your left hand, and I want you to meet it again on top of that right hand. So you're kind of like in a modified C. It's kind of a crescent stretch, but it's with a slight tilt. I want you to do that good morning again. We're really stretching to the opposite ends of the room with that little more slight tilt floating on the left-hand side of the body from up here down all the way to the legs. Inhale, and then exhale down. Inhale, reach, exhale down. And take your left arm, bring it back to center, left leg. Let's do it on the opposite side. Right leg over left, right hand over left palm, and stretch to this side. Inhale, exhale down. Inhale. Exhale down. One more time. Inhale. Exhale down. And slowly make your right hand back to the center. Adjust. Take your right leg, lift it off the left, shake it out a little bit. And then I want you to take your both knees in, and I just want you to squeeze. Kind of release the lower back a little bit. Maybe rock from side to side. And then get back to the center. And I want you to hold your right leg in with your right hand, and then stretch out your left leg just by itself. How's this feeling? If it's uncomfortable, there's ways to modify. You can bolster your leg like this with a block or a pillow so that you're not, so it gives a little bit more angle here, makes it a little bit more reachable for some people. And just breathe. Inhale. Exhale down. Inhale. Exhale down. You roll out your ankle. Flex and point your foot again. Then take your right leg down. Bring your left leg in, just like we did on the right. Bolster it if you need to, if it's uncomfortable for you. Or just hold it in with your left arm. And you can meet your left arm with your right. Or sometimes what I like to do is I like to make sure that I'm not pulling from the opposite sides of my body. So if I'm holding here, sometimes I like to take my other opposite hand and I like to put it on my hip bone. And I like to make sure that my pelvis is still square. So what I mean by that is that a lot of times if people are holding their leg in like this, all of a sudden they're like tilted, because they're pulling from different areas of the body, and it's important to notice those movement patterns that you have in order to correct them. So sometimes having a little bit more of like a sensory touch back to ourselves to understand how we're moving, because a lot of times we don't really know fully or we're not aware of it. So bringing awareness to how we're feeling, what's comfortable, what's not, and how to meet our bodies where it is at a given time is really important. And sometimes just having some kind of sensory input, like against a wall or having a hand, is really helpful to kind of understand what your patterns are that maybe you don't realize and where you're pulling from different areas of the body and how to correct it. So if your leg is in, you're holding your left leg in, just like we said, whether or not it's propped or not. If you can't pull it in all the way, there are other ways to bolster, and I'm happy to work with people personally or anybody. But just take your right arm, and I just want you to put it on your hip bone. And did you notice anything? Did you notice that you were in a tilt, meaning like you were kind of jacked up to one side versus actually square? I just welcome you to kind of relax. Make sure the shoulders are really relaxed, that your shoulders are not up like this even though you're down on the ground. Where are you feeling any tension, and where are you pulling from in different areas of the body just to get into this stretch? And if it's pulling from other areas that we don't want it to, we want to make sure that we are aware of it and fix it. So just notice where your hand is. Square out your pelvis. And you need to back down from how you're holding your leg. And then take your arm, reach back in. Maybe bring in the right leg, roll around again. And then arms down, legs down. Reach one more time, good morning. Stretch. And then down. One more time. Reach the opposite ends of the room. Exhale down. And then I want you to meet me in Shavasana. And I want you to get yourself however you're comfortable, whether you need to prop up on a pillow, put a blanket over top. Sometimes it's good to have something just feeling that it's getting the sensory input over top of your pelvis. So however you are most comfortable, just meet me down in Shavasana. Legs stretched, let your ankles and your feet comfortably fall open. Arms are now not up here, they're down to the side. And you want to make sure that your palms are up, which includes that the thumb is out. And what that does is it allows for no impingement of the shoulder joint. If your arm is down like this, there's a ligament that it doesn't allow your shoulders to fully relax. So you want to have your palms up, down to the side, arms relaxed, thumbs out. And just breathe. Close your eyes. And for the last few minutes of class, just enjoy the silence, focus on your breathing. I'm thankful for you guys being here with me. I welcome feedback. I would love to know more about how you all are feeling or needs. Any questions about the class? Just enjoy these last few minutes before the craziness of going back to life quarantine at home. You roll out your ankles again, your feet. I always love to do this. Helps me relax fully. Slowly bring movement back to your fingers. Open, close your palms. Roll around your ankles. Point, flex your feet. Open your eyes if you're comfortable, or keep them closed. And then just rotate to your right side or your left side, wherever you are, it's most comfortable. And just lay kind of on your side, giving yourself a moment before you sit back up. And then slowly and comfortably, I want you to push your way back up to a seated position. Meet me back in a chair or with your legs crossed. However you're comfortable. Arms to the side, or you can put them on your knees. You can keep your eyes open or closed. Maybe take a couple last few shoulder rolls, neck rolls, whatever movement you need before we end. Go around. Maybe include your palms. Maybe kind of a modified cat-cow while you're sitting. I always like this stretch a lot. Then come back to the center. Arms to the side. We're going to take one last inhale, arms up. Exhale, your hands to heart center. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, thank you. If you have any questions, feedback afterwards, I welcome it. I'm going to pay attention more to the questions, and I'm going to unmute everybody. So if there's any questions, concerns, issues that I need to know about, you want to ask me,